My name is Elias Hawthorne, and at 87, I've got stories enough to fill the baskets of Willowbrook's apple orchards, and then some. This town, population 4,832, is a quilt of rolling fields, creaky porches, and folks who know your heart before you speak it. I live in a blue Victorian on Elm Street, built by my grandfather, Silas, in 1892. It's paint-chipped but proud, with a garden out back, tomatoes and rosemary, now dormant for winter, that keeps my gnarled hands grounded. These days I narrate tales for my YouTube channel, Tales from the Rockin' Chair, sippin' black coffee, no sugar, and sharing lessons from a life of love, loss, and surprises that hit like a frost in October. This story's about my brother's widow, Margaret, and an autumn in 2025 that shook our family like a wind through the Green Mountains. It's called My Brother's Widow Claimed My Family Orchard for Her New Life, so I left it to my neighbor instead. Settle in, folks. It's a long one, like a harvest moon night in Vermont. Willowbrook in October 2025 is a sight to behold. Apple orchards glowing gold, leaves drifting like embers, the air crisp with cider and wood smoke. The Green Mountains stand tall, their peaks catching the last light of day. My Victorian home on Elm Street creaks with every step, its wraparound porch my evening haven, where I rock in a chair older than most of you, watching stars peek through the pines. The garden's quiet now, its rows of tomatoes and zucchini harvested, but I still wander it, arthritis nagging my knees, whispering to the plants like my late wife Martha taught me. My days center on the family orchard, a 20-acre plot by Willow Creek, planted by my father Amos in 1935. It's a sea of Cortland and McIntosh trees, their branches heavy with apples, a cider barn humming with memories. Mornings I drive my old pickup there, brew coffee in a pot from 52, and walk the rows, the scent of ripe fruit grounding me. Afternoons I press cider or mend fences, my hands steady despite their age. Evenings I record stories in my parlor, my voice gravelly but sure, for folks who find comfort in an old man's tales. The town's my family too. Mrs. Jenkins, my widowed neighbor, brings pies, and Timmy the postman lingers for war stories. But nights are lonely, the house echoing since Martha's passing in 2005. The orchard, with her pie recipe book and a tree we planted together, keeps her close. Margaret, 65, married my younger brother Thomas in 1980, a bright-eyed nurse who loved Willowbrook's quiet. When Thomas died in a car accident in 2005, leaving their daughter Clara, then 10, Margaret stayed on, leaning on Martha and me. We helped raise Clara, summers in the orchard, Margaret picking apples, laughing with Martha over pies. She was family, her warmth a comfort. But after Thomas's death, Margaret drifted, moved to Burlington in 2010, worked in healthcare and grew distant. In 2023, she remarried Carl, a real estate agent with a slick smile, planning a new life in Florida. By 2025, her calls are rare, her visits rarer, always asking about the orchard's potential. I loved her like a sister, hoped she'd cherish the land, my 2012 will naming Clara as a potential heir, assuming Margaret valued its roots. But her texts, Elias, could the orchard be sold, stinging like a bee in the blossoms. Amos planted the orchard in 1935, a gift to his family during the Depression, each tree a testament to grit. Thomas and I grew up pruning branches, selling apples at town fairs. Martha made it shine, her pies legendary, her recipe book stained with cider. We raised our kids there, Robert climbing trees, Sarah stealing apples. After Amos's death in '70, I tended it, replacing irrigation, rebuilding the barn. The orchard's 20 acres, Cortland, McIntosh, a creek view are worth $1.2 million now. Prime for tourists or developers eyeing vacation homes. I've refused their offers, honoring Martha's deathbed wish. Keep it family, Elias. The deed's in my safe, under the parlor floorboards, a promise I thought Margaret understood. Mid-October brought Margaret to Willowbrook, her SUV parked by the orchard, Carl trailing with a briefcase. Over cider in the farmhouse kitchen, oak table laden with apples, she laid out her plan. Sell the orchard for their Florida move. Elias, you're 87. It's too much. We need the money. I shook my head. The orchard's memories, Martha's pies, Thomas's laughter, too sacred. It's family, not cash, I said. Margaret's eyes narrowed. Sign it over or I'm done with this family. Carl nodded. Sarah, on speakerphone, stayed silent. Her silence cut deep. I felt discarded, like a bruised apple. That night, I paced under Martha's quilt, her photo watching, hurt, burning. Margaret saw profit, not legacy, and it broke me. Sleep fled. I sat by the orchard at dawn, the trees whispering memories, Thomas pruning, Martha's pies. I called Mr. Hargrove, my lawyer since '82, his office a maze of books and pipe smoke. Elias, what's wrong? I explained Margaret's ultimatum, her greed. He pulled the deed. You can transfer it or gift it to a trust. I thought of Mrs. Jenkins, 70, who shared apples with the poor, tended her own garden, loved the orchard like family. Gift it to her, I said, for a community trust. Hargrove drafted the transfer to Mrs. Jenkins with terms for a town-run orchard. I signed, hand steady, heart heavy. I called a meeting in the farmhouse kitchen, sunlight glinting off apple baskets. Margaret, Carl, Sarah, and Clara arrived, expecting a sale. I introduced Mrs. Jenkins, handing her the deed. The orchard's yours now, for Willowbrook. Margaret gasped. You gave it to her? It was ours. Sarah protested. Elias, why? Carl stammered. I explained. You wanted profit, Margaret. She wants legacy. Margaret's face flushed, tears falling. You're cruel, she cried, storming out. Mrs. Jenkins, tearful, vowed to honor Martha. The kitchen fell silent, the cider scent heavy. Days later, Margaret called, sobbing. Elias, I'm sorry. Florida is a dream, but I'm broke. I invited her to Willowbrook. At the orchard, now hosting harvest classes, we talked. Margaret admitted her desperation. Carl confessed his pushiness. I offered a role, manage the community trust, teach kids about apples. By November, Margaret's leading workshops, Clara's baking pies, Sarah's volunteering. The orchard thrives as a town hub, Martha's legacy alive. We're family again, stronger for it. Legacy isn't ownership, it's sharing. Margaret learned and I forgave. At 87, I know time's short, but the orchard's future shines. I record these tales for you, urging you to cherish roots over riches. Subscribe, folks, for more.